multiple people and just not have to.
And literally do the exact same thing and go 2 steps forward. Just be like, yo, we have more health, and we're like, we kind of already wanted that and asked for that like at the beginning of the game when we already had it. But overall, though, over everything else, that's the best change, and it's been cool.
Did you notice that they changed like all the logo branding? At least that's what I've noticed.
Yes.
You're not seeing Warzone 2 anywhere.
We're gonna talk about that right now because I have my theories. But hold on, hold that thought, Coach.
Yeah, that's
Coach,
a big
yeah. Coach, what do you think about season 4 so far?
Hallo? Hallo, hallo. Hallo, 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 hallo.
Right, and I already gave this feedback to Activision. 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 I already gave this feedback to Activision. And I'm a little upset because, and I feel like a lot of people haven't really looked deep into this, and I'm upset, or not upset, but it feels like a slap in the face. And let me explain why. Let's say the health change, right? 150 health. I agree with everybody. That should have been in the game 5 months ago, maybe like after 2 seasons, right? But what I'm more upset about is it gave us the 150 health change, but then it's with an asterisk. It's with a but. And I hate that every time they add something that we want, it's always with a but. You know, so the whole 150 health change is amazing. The outplay potential is actually there now. You can turn on kids. I've noticed it from one day of playing already. Like you can, like if somebody's missing their shots, you are smoking them. Like if you're good, but the 7-second delay change. I don't think a lot of people really understand. Yes, I understand you can use quick fix, but now it's almost like one of those things that you're required to use. It's one of those things, hey, here is 150 base health change, but we want the game to still play as slow as we like it. So let's add, instead of a 5-second delay, let's add a 7-second delay. So they gave us the health change, but then again, it's almost, I'm gonna say it's impossible to 1v4, but it's like you have to slow down significantly. If you're one shot, you have to run around quick fix or use stims, which again, it's always an asterisk. It's always like a but. And like, it was like, it almost felt like Call of Duty was like, okay, here, fine, stop complaining. Here's your 150 base health, but we're gonna make sure that the game plays as slow as we want it to. Like, you wanna get cracked? No. So that's my opinion. What is y'all's thoughts on that?
The problem too is this. That's a problem also. But the other problem is for those 7 seconds, your character is literally coughing up a lung you can't hear because like they're healing, right? So like the audio, which we've been complaining about forever. I mean, it is what it is now. But like that's a problem. But also the other problem is as you're trying to regen for the 7 seconds, your character is just like breathing super heavy, so you can't hear anybody else around you at all. It's so dumb.
But it was, I agree. Coach, talk to me. Wait.
I was letting see if Isaac wanted to add to that, but here's my not problem. It makes sense from a business standpoint. Likely they're looking at the actual like pick rate of certain perks or certain items in the game and saying no one's using stims. And probably not a lot of people are using quick fix. So let's give the people what they want, but also try to balance our game. Because I think Activision thinks that the best game is perfect pick rate across the board for the most part. Maybe there's some meta weapons that have some great skins that you're trying to sell, but otherwise, you know, you're pretty much just even across the board for everything. Yeah. And if those things aren't being chosen at all, that's why they probably made that change. But you're right. I mean, it totally changes the way. Now my brain goes to customs, right? Like that's where my head likes to go. And so in customs, we're going to see 6-party central. I mean, we're going to see third parties on third parties on third parties because fights are going to take so long. And that's a good thing because there's a skill gap, but it's also a bad thing because then it's just going to be even more clustered around certain POIs during the game. It's going to totally change the way custom players will play, I think.
I agree. Isaac, what's your thoughts on the whole 7-second delay thing?
Yeah, so I can see a lot of sides of it, right? So with the longer health regen, they might also be trying to help the aggressor in that situation because, you know, maybe now instead of getting it down with one mag or getting it down with, you know, a few shots with your SMG, now all of a sudden you have to reload. And while you're reloading, you're not in a full tack sprint. So when you're trying to chase this guy down and you want to get that final kill, he doesn't instantly regen, and it's like, shit, I have to mag dump him again. And he's still one shot and mag dump him again. And so it's like trying to prevent, so that way you actually can chase someone down.
Yeah.
I can see that side of things. But at the same time, if you're not getting the kill and he full regens, like, I don't know, like hit your shots.
Yeah, so like here's my question is like in Caldera, right? When they added the 150 base health, was the standard regen 5 seconds or was that 7 seconds?
It was wildly different because the same time they added that, we also had like giga stims.
Yeah,
and so
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
and
true.
The stims, and like I was talking to some people about this, and people are like, "Well, have you tried running stims? Have you tried running quick fix?" It's totally different for stims because stims in this game, when you take one tick of damage, the healing stops.
Yeah.
So it's not like in Caldera, you could take a stim and then keep running away and maybe take a couple damage and it would slowly tick up and you take a bullet and you'd have better movement speed and insane slides. So we don't have all that. And then they're like, okay, well, what about quick fix? Well, we can't really run quick fix because everyone wants to run double time because this game plays really slow. If double time was the standard movement, I wouldn't like make double time a permanent perk and then we'll have some variety in the perk packages. But pretty much everyone is running double time because the gameplay is slow, and EOD because everyone's spamming drill charges, Simtexes, etc. So I don't have the luxury of running.
Well, it's actually worse, Isaac. It's not even double time or that. It's high alert and ghost that quick fix takes the slot for. So like,
oh no way.
Yeah. So that's why a lot of people aren't using it because they're like, it's like, yeah, it's those are the quote unquote legendary perks, right? And so it makes things a lot harder, which I get. Like honestly, I've talking to the devs, right? When we went to Raven Software, They want, it's what Goj said. Goj was spot on. They want you to use everything. They want their, like, not to just use smokes. They want you to use stims. They want you to use fucking, literally everything at their disposal. Their ideology is they never want anything to be banned. They want to fix things so that way you can use everything. But at the same time, it's hard to keep we're talking about ranked, right? Not pubs. It's so hard to keep a competitive rule set. It's so hard to be like BR isn't even competitive as it is. Like COD is the least competitive BR probably out there, right? So it's like making this as close to a competitive as possible is hard, you know. So I don't know.
No, and here's the thing, man. There is not a single game ever. Like their thoughts on like let's balance everything is impossible. It is literally impossible. There will never be a game in the history of games. It's like, yo, everything is balanced. Like every gun is the same pick rate, every tactical and lethal. That will never happen because sweats will always find what is like the best thing to use, and they're going to use it for a tournament. You're going to find the best thing to use. You're going to use it. It's not going to be like, yo, let me just spin a wheel and pick this gun. It's going to be the same. It's never going to be like that.
Yeah.
So it's just dumb to try to think of like, let's try to balance everything. Like that's never going to happen.
Yeah, but what else are they supposed to do? That's the big question mark, right? It's like, okay, if it's not everything is fantastic, well, what if this is really good for this playstyle, this is really good for this playstyle, this is really good for this playstyle? In theory, I think that's what they're trying to do. Is it done in practice? Probably not. Definitely not perfect. I think that's what they're fighting for or working towards. Yeah. But overall, I do agree. Like, I think this is going to be interesting going into customs, but even when you look at ranked, I mean, you guys know it better than anyone. This region is changing the way the game is meant to be played, even though we've added the health, which I guess was maybe intended. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, look, like at the end of the day, I'm okay with them balancing things and trying to make it, because look, bro, like honestly, the most fun I've had in COD is during that when they tried to balance all the ARs in Cold War, and there was like a lot of guns that were technically viable for like 4 months. Nobody knew what was quote unquote meta, right? Obviously DMR was crazy, like, right? But then you could technically use other guns and still get content. I remember that, right? But right now with the whole base health, I've seen people use everything. At least remember, I was gone for 2 days, so things could change. You guys let me know. Isaac, I know, and Joe, you guys are running ranked consistently. When I left on Wednesday, people were trying the Lockpin 5.56. I saw people rocking the TAC V. I saw people rocking the TAC 56. I saw literally everybody rocking everything. I saw on the TL today, there's a new DMR or whatever. So I love that people. Is that still the same now? Or like I've been gone for 2 days, right? Is it still like that?
I think World Series of Warzone, it might be like you have to be more optimized about it. But I felt like in last season, you had to run the Cronin or the MCPR, and then you had to run like the MP5 or the Vaznev, and then maybe some weird sniper supports in the mix. I feel like the meta this season is there's a lot more variety.
Yeah, I agree, and I love that they did that. In my opinion, that's a huge W. The 150 base health to me is insane. My only concern was one-shot snipers, and as we know, for ranked specifically, I just want to give a huge shout out to the team over there at Treyarch. I am mind blown. And Raven, you know, and just everybody, right? You know, but like, you know, but Treyarch is the one involved, or the one making the competitive rule set. They have been so damn, like, they've been listening to the community. I am blown away. Huge W for them, guys. What's y'all's thoughts on one-shot snipers? They took off, pretty much. They took off explosive rounds. So no more one-shot snipers, and then they took off. Was it the slugs for the shotgun, or was it, did they just
fire
ban
breath and explosive rounds?
There you go.
At the end of the day, this is still technically a beta season, and future seasons can change and ebb and flow. All this stuff is happening. Like, right, this wasn't a season update. This just happened on a Friday before a weekend. So before you lose your mind, just get out there and play it.
Yeah.
Because all of this could be changed. Let's say it plays terribly, just give it a try.
Yeah.
I will say, I played 13 hours last night after that update. The best ranked experience I've had in the last 2 months. It was incredible.
Can I ask you a question? Was it the best because it was the most consistent, or you just had the most fun playing it? Or both?
It felt like kind of like the fire shotties. You had to run a fire shotty because other people were running fire shotties. So It's like, dude, everyone always had to have at least one sniper on their team. Because if you had some dude on a rooftop 3 buildings away, you know, it's so high benefit, low risk when you run a sniper. You get to carry 40 rounds. You can carry more in your backpack. You can carry a munitions box. And it's like, oh, but the low bullet velocity and the bullet arc, it's tough to hit. You know, it takes a little bit more. I'll give you that. But one bullet, one lucky bullet. Or if you're in a, you know, intense gunfight with someone else and then someone sees you from a side perspective, rips your head off, boom, you're out of the fight. Like, it's just, it's free kills, man. It's free kills.
I think, in my opinion, if we're going to try to be the most, like, we're trying to make a competitive place, again, in pubs, guys, if you guys are playing pubs, none of this pertains to that, right? But one-shot snipers, if you're playing in the highest caliber lobbies, if you're playing in these sweaty customs, it is the most RNG thing ever. I was playing Wednesday and I was rocking regular guns. I didn't want to snipe, me and the guys, right? And I'm not gonna say we're struggling, but like it was like, bro, constant 90. Like, let me be realistic. Like 60%, 70% of my deaths were just one-shot snipes to the head. Me and the boys all switched to snipers and subs, and we started frying. We started like it was literally easy mode. It was literally easy mode. And so, like I think whenever it becomes to the point where if you're not rocking a sniper, things get a lot harder, or